He wrote and directed a small film. You might have heard of it. It's called Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Yeah. Now he's got a new blockbuster on his hands. It will keep you laughing and guessing till the very end. It's called Knives Out.
Mr. Blanc, I know who you are. I read your profile in The New Yorker. I found it delightful. I just buried my 85-year-old father who committed suicide. Why are you here?
I'm here at the behest of a client.
Who?
I cannot say, but let me assure you this. My presence will be ornamental. You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer of the truth.
Please welcome filmmaker Rian Johnson. Hey. Rian, first off, your parents did a great job naming you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, we have that in common.
Yeah. Let's talk about Knives Out. I saw the film, very funny. When you sit down to write something like this and try to make it original, which this film is, how do you do that? What's the process like for you?
Well, I just start with what I love about the genre. I love a good whodunit. There's something just so fun and comforting about an eccentric detective who comes in, and you have a big fun cast of movie stars playing all these despicable people who could have done it, and the detective's going to come in, he's going to sort through all the facts, and he's going to solve the case. And that, to me, I don't know, there's something just always fun about watching that.
Yeah, you talk about the cast. It is star-studded.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go through some of the names. Daniel Craig. So you got James Bond. You got Chris Evans, Captain America, in the same movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Plummer, Michael Shannon from here in Chicago, Don Johnson. I mean, this has got to be a dream when you're a filmmaker to have this cast.
When you said Don Johnson, I heard a little ooh go through the crowd.
I'm kind of dressed like Don Johnson at the moment, I think.
He's the best. I ooh every time I hear Don's name. Yeah, he's the best, man. Yeah, we got really lucky. We have a stacked cast. I mean, that was part of the fun of this movie. Is just let's put together an all-star cast for just like a really fun movie. And also, I mean, working with Daniel Craig. Oh my God, man, the guy's incredible, and he's so funny in this movie. If you only know him from Bond, from watching him as James Bond, he's gonna really surprise you in this one.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Watching him, and anytime you see him, that's the first thing that's going to come to mind, but he transforms. He really steals the movie, if you ask me, from the accent to the way he goes about trying to solve the mystery. Was it a lot of laughs on set? Because it looked like there was probably a lot of fun.
We had so much fun making this movie. We were shooting in a house in New England and in Massachusetts, and all the actors in between takes, usually everyone splits up and goes back to their trailer and gets on their phones with their agents. With this one, everyone just hung out at the house. They hung out in the basement in between takes. And it was like summer camp for movie stars. It was really, we genuinely had a blast.
Yeah. Now, as a filmmaker, do you look at the critics and see what they write? Is it ever personal if they don't like something that you do?
Yeah, my wife actually used to be a full-time critic. She was.
Oh, that's how you win them over. You just marry them.
Romeo and Juliet, a little bit. So I love reading good film criticism. A little trickier when you're reading it about your own movie, but you know, we've gotten lucky with this one. They seem to mostly like it.
That's why I bring it up. It's got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
I'll take it.
Are you trying to track down that 1%?
Nah, he's just doing his job.
Absolutely. So obviously we know you from Star Wars Last Jedi. Talk about a lot of pressure writing movies.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't hit that one out of the park, you got the Star Wars geeks after you forever.
Well, yeah. I mean, having grown up as a Star Wars fan and knowing how passionate that community is, there's a certain amount of comfort that no matter what you do, there's going to be people who love it and people who don't. That's the world that I grew up in. But also, I mean, the flip side of that is, with that or with something like a whodunit that I've loved since I was a kid, you always want to pick stuff that you just have a deep love for. And that means that the story you're telling is coming from a place where you genuinely care about the thing you're writing about and really want to do it well. And that, no matter what you do in life, I think that's where the best stuff comes from.
Right. Your films really make people think and reflect. One of my favorite movies is Looper. You've seen that with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He wrote that as well. I don't want to ask you if you do recreational drugs, but how do you get so creative?
I'm such a nerd. I've never done drugs, and I've written movies with drugs in them, and I never know what I'm writing. I'm always Wikipediaing like drugs, like how do these work? But no, yeah, I mean, for me and that's why. With this movie, like for me, entertainment always means not just having the turn off your brain and enjoy it. Like that's first and foremost. That's a given that you have to be able to just have a blast watching a movie. I think something that's really entertaining, also gives you a couple other layers to enjoy, a couple other things to chew on. Not like in a message way or like in a giving you a moral way or something, but just something to think about when you walk out of the theater, a little something more to chew on. So I've always tried to make stuff that does that, and this is in the same category.
Well, I had a chance to watch it, really enjoyed it. It's called Knives Out. The film is sure to be a hit. You saw the 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. It opens nationwide on November 27th.